The land was enormous, white, silent. Into the still, lifeless silence broke the sounds and movements of life, of dogs breathing, and men calling to the dogs. The dogs were pulling a long sled over the ice and frozen snow. With snow and when the far northwest of Canada freezes, cruel hunger controls the land and all that lives and grows there. Life itself becomes foreign. The strong and clever live while the weak die. A cry cut through the frozen silence. The two men looked at each other across the sled but said nothing. Then they heard a second cry and a third from all around. "They're after us, Bill," said the man at the front of the sled. Bill didn't reply except to crack his whip over the heads of the tired dogs. All the rest of that day, the cries came closer and closer. At the fall of darkness, the men tied up the dogs among some trees and built a large fire. Bill threw food to the dogs while the other man, Henty, heated coffee and cooked beef bacon on the fire. Bill looked across at Henry and asked in a puzzled voice, "How many dogs have we got, Henry?" "You know we've got 6, replied Henry. "Tenny, there's one ear, and Fatty, and... But why are you asking?" "Because I'm sure I saw 7 pairs of eyes just now when I threw them the meat." "It's only your imagination," said Henry. "And the firelight." But Bill was thoughtful as he went to sleep that night, surrounded by the cries of the wolves, and in the morning, to Henry's annoyance, he asked almost the same question. "Did you say we had 6 dogs?" "Yes." Asterisk. "Well, there are only 5 now. Fatty's gone." Each day, as they traveled across the snowy land, the pack of 40 wolves grew braver and came closer, and each night one of the dogs disappeared. Every night in the light of their fire, the men could see the eyes of the wolves in a circle around them, 20 feet away, then 15, then 10. The men came to fear one wolf above all, a white she-wolf. It was she who went among the dogs, frightening them, stealing their food, hardly noticing the sticks and stones the men threw at her. They had only 3 bullets let for their guns. Her sharp teeth could cut through any rope or piece of leather the dogs were tied up with. Then, when a dog was free and running away, the pack easily caught it, killed it, and ate it. "I tell you, Bill," said Henry once, "that she-wolf has lived among dogs and people before. If she hadn't, she wouldn't dare do that." But Bill just reached for his gun. When Henry was rescued 2 days later, he had a terrible story to tell. How Bill eventually went out with his gun but never returned. How the she-wolf led the pack closer and closer. How he built a fire in a wide circle around himself. But soon, too soon, there was no wook left to burn. The wolves' hunger drove them on across the still burning wood, yelping in pain. Henry lost all hope, but just then the white she-wolf pricked up her ears at the sounds of dogs and men coming nearer. The wolf pack disappeared silently into the half-light of dawn, in search of easier meat for their empty stomachs.